Sweet Lou, Jeff Luzader back here as we're ready to start game 2 from McCutcheon High School. Clay Bowman, who got the win in relief in the first game, is going to start here in the second game. First pitch to Darren Lathrop, and that's a foul ball off to the right, and this game's underway.
Darren Lathrop filling in well for Evan Allen, a leadoff spot. Ultra aggressive. I love it. I love leadoff hitters that want to swing the bat. I'm sorry. Oh, man.
There's a called strike. 0-2.
Silent strike variety there, Sweet Lou. He doesn't. No. He lifted his right arm. He did. He didn't say anything, but he lifted his right arm there.
There's a ground ball. Too short. And a nice play by the first baseman, Nick Ewell, as Chris Walker's son, Justin Walker, made the play at shortstop.
Justin made a nice play fielding it, but he's gotten used to that little spin around. He's had 4 of those plays this year, but that's one he doesn't need to do the spin around, and comes up and makes a bad throw over to first base, and Nick Ewell was able to bail him out. So nice play there by Justin fielding the ball. Not a nice throw, but he got helped out by his first baseman, Nick Ewell there.
So 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the first inning of game 2. First pitch swinging again to Justin at short. Over to Ewell, and quickly 2 up and 2 down here in the top of the first inning.
So 2 6-3s there for the first and second outs of the inning. Brings up the DH game 2, Jackson Smeltz.
Well, Smeltz again, the DH. Now there's some discussion at home plate. The home plate umpire in game 2 is Mark Maxwell and Steve Hoffman, who was the home plate umpire in game 2. There was some discussion as Mr. Hoffman had a word with the first base coach from the Mavericks. So I don't guess the first base coach is satisfied, but he had a question, I guess. There's a called strike from Clay Bowman. Of course, as I mentioned, Bowman was in relief of Riley Potts, and Broncos got 5 runs in the 7th inning to win game 1. There's a ball pretty well hit. Leaving. Could be, might be, and that is off the wall. Connor Hamilton hustles out there and gets the ball into the infield, but I'm telling you, Mr. Smeltz shot that out like a missile off the bat.
That ball is absolutely smoked, and I'll tell you, if that ball doesn't leave here tonight, I don't know if you're going to be able to get one out of here, because that ball left the bat with some pretty good exit velocity on it. That ball was smoked.
Well, like I said, that was hit off the bat like a rocket, Chris.
Yes, it was. No, that's I'm a Jackson Smeltz fan. I love to see that. Hopefully, it's good when he does that when no one's on base, but it's good to see him back playing baseball. You know, it's good to see him doing what he loves to do.
Peyton Williams. Pitch inside for a ball.
Good job there by Dylan Wagner, dropping and blocking. Like to see that.
2 balls, no strikes.
Again, situation where your middle infielders have to be getting dirty here, Sweetly. You got to keep the ball in the infield here, try to save a run.
There's a swing and a miss.
Good rip there by Peyton Williams, just swung through it. That's a good 2-0 swing.
2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Smeltz on at second base with a double. He's got a good lead at second base. Now it's 3-1 from Bowman to Peyton Williams.
Well, Peyton is back in the situation where he's ahead of the count, looking for something straight that you can hit hard. Clay's taking a little bit too much time, and Peyton smartly asks the umpire for timeout, and it's granted.
3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Here's a pitch from Bowman.
Good pitch.
And that's a called strike, and it counts full now, 3-2.
It's a great 3-1 pitch there by Bowman, but an even better take by Peyton Williams. You don't want to be swinging at 3-1. Now you go to 3-2 and you fight your way, try to trying to find your way on base. Now, if you're Clay Bowman, you're going to try to make a quality pitch. If you'll throw the 3-1 breaking ball, why not throw a 3-2? And he does.
Yeah, it's outside for ball 4. Puts Mavericks on first and second. Smelts on at second. Williams on at first. And we've got a
courtesy runner for the catcher.
Billups courtesy runner at first base. So Smelts on at second. Billups on at first.
Collin was pretty silent in the first game, so be careful here. Runner in scoring position with 2 outs. You still need to make quality pitches if you're Clay Bowman. Whew.
Foul back off the bat of
Collin All. Really good rip on a first pitch fastball there by Collin, and he fouls it straight back. Billups on first, Smelts on second.
Pitch gets away. The runner, Smelts, headed down to third. And he's in there as both runners move up.
It's a close play. If Dylan makes a good throw, it's going to be close for Jackson over there. And I know his dad's sitting 2 people next to me in the press box. He would not have liked that situation.
So we got a wild pitch here.
That's a pass ball.
Pass ball, okay. Pass ball. Smelts now on third. Billups on at second base. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bowman going from the windup now, the 2-1. Hits the outside corner for a called strike.
Good spot there. Good spot there by Bowman. And again, I like the take by Collin All because I don't know if you can do much with that pitch and that count sequence there. Now 2-2, you got to be looking for that again. At that time, you got to hit it hard in the right field.
Pitch outside for a ball. Runs a count full. 3-2.
That would have been close in the first game. It's not a strike, but I'll tell you, we saw some pretty close in the first game.
Fly ball, towering fly ball into center field. Hamilton under it for the out. So no runs. There was 1 hit, 2 runners left on base. We're in game 2 here. We're headed to the bottom of the first. Broncos will be the home team here in game number 2. We'll take a short audio break. You're watching Bronco baseball. Sweet Lou, Jeff Luzatter back here at McCutcheon as we head to the bottom of the first inning. And yes, the Broncos are home team here. This is the game that should have been played last night. And is being played tonight as a doubleheader. So, first game won by the Broncos 5-4. this is the home game, and Carson Smith, a right-hander, ready to face Clay Jones for Jeff here. Bottom of the first of game 2. Looks like that hit home plate. Bounced away from the catcher back to the backstop for a ball 1.
Carson's a big righty, straight over the top. Normally he's going to usually throws a heavy fastball.
Ground ball, and that is foul down the third base line.
And when Carson's going well, he gets a lot of ground balls. Usually not overpowering, but he also throws an overhand curveball. Carson's thing is usually location. When he's able to hit his spots, that's when he's really effective.
1 ball, 1 strike on Jones. Jones, Walker, and Bowman here in the bottom of the first inning for Lafayette Jefferson. 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed.
Threw that one right by Clay. Had some heat on that one, Carson.
Carson Smith got some power here behind his fastball. Blew that by Jones. 1-2 pitch coming. Low and away.
You kind of see the heaviness of that fastball there. It's kind of Peyton Williams catching it and forcing that thing down. I mean, that ball had some late run to it. That little sinking action.
2-2 pitch. Here it is. Foul ball off to the right, now to play.
Good job by Clay Jones to stay alive.
Well, Chris, I want to admit I did head down to the men's room in between games and got to go outside, and I'm telling you, I'm sure glad we're in here because it is a bit chilly out there.
Good pitch.
And there's called strike 3.
Sweet Lou, I didn't go down to the restroom, but I did walk out in between innings, and I got back up here really quick. Let's just say that.
I'm telling you, yep, it is a bit nippy out there.
Yes, it is.
1 up, 1 down for the Broncos here in the bottom of the first inning.
This will be a fun at-bat here. These two know each other extremely well.
Oh, it hit him.
Carson. Look at Justin. Look at that. Carson can't even look at him.
Walker gets hit by a pitch and heads down to first base. Well, I saw you talking to your son in between games. I didn't hear you shouting at him, or you didn't have your finger in his nose, so hopefully you weren't too hard on him.
I wasn't nice. I'll tell you that. But it's one of those things. My thing with him is just to change the body language, right? I can't say much about the at-bats because, I can harp on, but he's not, getting ready to go to the next level and play. You can't, if you're swinging at those kind of pitches, you'll never get a hit at the next level. You have to have some kind of plate discipline. Yep. So, I mean, it's, but I still got to be a dad. I can't be nice. Come on, Sweet Lou. You know me better than that.
Well, there was some question there. Mark Maxwell had talking to Clay Bowman about there's a line drive right to the second baseman. They're going to throw to first. Ooh. Safe is Justin Walker. So Clay Bowman hit that right on the numbers, but right at the second baseman, Farrell, for out number 1 here in the bottom of the first.
Out number 2. Second out.
2 outs, excuse me.
Strikeout.
2 outs, yep.
With Jones.
2 outs.
Another situation. Let's see if, again, Carson knows Justin really well, but Justin's got to get a little better leadoff. You got to try to get him in scoring position. I don't know if you're going to be able to do it from that leadoff, though.
Battered Jay Siegel takes a pitch outside for ball 1.
Carson, pretty quick slide step to the plate. He knows his base runner. Peyton Williams, not as strong as an arm as Tyson Schumann, but he's got a quick release.
There's a pitch down low for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Smith with his sign, he sets, delivers. There's a called strike through the heart of the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Good pitch there by Carson, kind of outer third of the plate there for strike 1, 2-1. Again, if you're Jay Siegel, that's not a pitch you want to go after with a 2-0 count. Really good execution there by Carson Smith. Good running count.
There's a ground ball to the shortstop. He's going to go to first base. Does Miller over to McNeely, and Jay Siegel thrown out by the shortstop to end the inning. No runs, no hits, and a runner left. We played 1 complete here Game number 2. It's McCutcheon nothing, Lafayette Jeff nothing. Mavericks will send up 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the bottom of the second inning to face Clay Bowman. Did I hear 38 pitches for Bowman in game number 1?
Yeah, sounds like he threw 38 pitches and coming in relief in game 1. And so, as we know, we have the Indiana high school pitching rules intact here. And, the other thing that we have to, be cognizant of is we have our NCC conference tournament going on Saturday. So, all this matters when it comes to pitches and wins and losses and that sort of thing. So we'll see.
Well, Clay Bowman. Going to be Allen, McNeely, and Miller here in the top of the second inning. Again, Broncos are the home team here in game number 2. There's a pitch for a ball.
Look at how far up in the box that Evan Allen gets, and he'll start creeping up even more. That's as deep as I've seen him.
There's a good swing by Allen, and he swings and misses.
Swings right through it. Good aggressive swing, though.
1 ball, 1 strike. Here's a 1-1 pitch.
Good pitch.
And that's just a little bit low from Bowman. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Good breaking ball there by Clay Bowman. Missed just low, but really good spot. Good pitch.
2-1 to count. Pitch on the inside corner for a called strike. Evens the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Comes the 2-2 pitch from Bowman. And that's inside, and that
I don't
pretty
know how
close
Evan
there to
Allen
Mr. Allen.
That's pretty good agility there by Evan Allen. Full
so the count, counts full, 3-2. That's down low, ball 4.
Is this correct? I may have to look at my sheet. I think this is twice in one day that Evan Allen has walked. That's hard to do. I'm telling you.
So a leadoff runner for the Mavericks here, top of the second inning. Brings up Kobe McNeely, the first baseman, batting right-handed, and a big lead over at first is Allen.
I make fun of, I laugh at Evan because I was similar to that. I remember after my, we'll wait till after this pitch.
And there's a called strike.
I remember after my junior year at Purdue, I had my exit interview with Coach Schreiber, and he told me, when you come back the next year, the only thing that matters is your on-base percentage. And I remember telling him, Coach, the first stat you see on the stat sheet is AVG. That's for batting average. That's not on-base percentage. I don't care about my on-base percentage.
Throw over to first, and they may have Allen picked off. Walker makes the tag on him.
So that'd be a 1-3-6. No, it does show you, though, how much the game has, I don't want to say the game has changed, but the philosophy, because, you think with Moneyball, with all the sabermetrics, on-base percentage it really is so important. I mean, it's about getting on base. I mean, ultimately, you want to score runs, and you can't score runs if you're not on base. And so, when you're a guy at the top of the lineup, really anywhere, your job is to find a way to get on base.
Well, you look at, I'm looking at my Cincinnati Reds and Joey Votto every year in and year out.
Absolutely.
His on-base percentage is way up there. Boy, there's a foul tip, and that got Mr. Maxwell.
Oh, please, let's just hope he's okay, because we don't need
he's been over there as a foul ball.
Yeah. You're okay, sir. Please.
Yeah.
For the sake of baseball, please be okay.
Mark Maxwell. Had football and basketball state finals in the last couple of years.
Oh, looks like he got him in the arm.
Yep.
You know, he needs that big balloon chest protector that, what's the gentleman, I don't know the umpire's name that wears that. And, you know, I love that big old, oh, no, please don't walk off the field. No, stay there. That's right.
Yeah, Mr. Benner's got the balloon, the outside balloon. And
yes, he does. Oh, nothing a little water won't cure. I love it.
Yeah. Looks Mark Maxwell getting a little swig of water there.
He's taking a timeout, catch his breath, and then you got
maybe Coach McTaggart here. He needs a drink the way he's limping over there.
Yeah, you got old Hopalong coming out to join
Cassidy.
The conversation, and I wonder what they're talking about there. You're hurt. I'm hurt more, but you're staying in the game. So that foul ball must have not caught any of Dylan Wagner and went straight back and hit the umpire, home plate umpire, Mark Maxwell, and those never feel good. I mean, everyone thinks because you have all that protection on, it's not going to hurt, but sometimes it's just the surprise. It catches you off guard and may knock your breath away for a second.
Well, everybody's settled back in their positions. No balls and 2 strikes on Kobe McNeely. Clay Bowman. Pitch outside for a ball, 1-2.
We got to say thanks to Brent Talkin and Bobby Smeltz, the broadcasters for the Mavericks, who decided they're running the scoreboard, and Brent's running. Thank you, sir. Brent's running music and everything, because all the kids nowadays got to have their perfect walk-up song, So
well, I know we're taking their place, but who do we send the bill to since we're taking their place? We're going to do double duty here.
And thanks to Mr. Ryan Walden for the nice water we just had brought up to the press box, and I need it. He is right.
Ball.
Hey, Stovall, if you're listening, you better get on your job, man, because I know you wouldn't be bringing waters up.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Kobe McNeely's fighting here. Good at bat for Kobe.
Bowman, 3-2 pitch. That's outside.
Ooh, maybe it's 2-2.
Yep. I guess it's now 3-2.
Mr. Waxel, throw your hands up there. Let's give us a count, sir. Oh, he done. I think when that ball hit him, he kind of lost track of it. And what's
not sure
my
whether
guess
he ran
is
it up.
The first base umpire won't have an indicator, so he's not going to know. He's going to guess. If you hear my background, I'll try to mute him out of there. Here's the deal with that situation. If it is ball 4, shame on Kobe McNeely. You got to sell that better.
Absolutely.
I mean, Kobe should be down to first
base right now.
Standing on first, right?
Foul ball down the right field line, out of play.
Tell you what, Kobe's trying to get Clay out of this game right away with all the pitches he's thrown to him.
Yep, that pitch total's going up and up with these foul balls. Again, the count's 3-2. We've got 1 out, bases empty here. And there's a pitch down low for a ball. Ball 4. So a good at bat for McNeely, no doubt about it.
Really good at bat by Kobe McNeely. And the scary thing is although we were able to pick off Evan Allen, that's back-to-back walks. But really good plate discipline there by Kobe McNeely. And what I like is good call by Mark Maxwell, the home plate umpire. I mean, that ball's down, and it's more real, right? I mean, it gives you a better situation for both the pitcher and the hitter.
Stretching the pitch from Bowman. There's a foul ball back to the screen. So we've got 1 out. A Maverick, McNeely on at first base here in the top of the 2nd inning. No score between Jeff and McCutcheon in game number 2 here from McCutcheon High School. There's a called strike, evens the count 1-1.
Sweet Lou, I was just going to say it'd be interesting to know what Coach McTaggart's thinking is on who's going to be in relief, But my guess is, and I haven't seen anyone down there, but my guess is Riley Eberhardt's going to be
well,
the
there.
pitcher.
Now that you
He's
mentioned
actually
that, there's
down.
Everhart going down right
Yeah.
now, number 29.
Because I know he was originally supposed to be the Game 2 starter, but I understand Coach McTaggart's thinking. I mean, Clay Bowman is kind of hot at the end of the first game. He's already loose. You bring him in, you start him this game, and then you let Eberhard come in when he gets in any trouble.
1-2 now. Swung on and missed, and down goes Ben Miller, the shortstop, for out number 2.
Good pitch there by Clay Bowman. Fastball on the outside part of the plate, just out of the reach there of Ben Miller. Rowan's got a fan club down there. I wonder, is that his sister? Yeah, see Macy down there. Cheering
2
for his
outs.
brother, gotta love that.
Called strike from Bowman to Roman Farrell.
Again, Rowan's going to be another kid. Between Rowan, Carson Barrett, and Avery Beaver, it's going to be some fun high school basketball to watch over these years. But I hope none of those kids give up on baseball because they're all good athletes. And, again, I don't know what's wrong with all these Indiana kids, man. They get basketball in the mind.
Yep.
I mean, in my opinion, as far as high school sports go, Indiana has become a baseball state as opposed to – I mean, it's so good in basketball. There's a lot of tremendous baseball players in the state of Indiana.
No doubt about it. 0-2 pitch. There's a swing and a foul off the bat of Farrell. Well, if you talk to the coaching staff around these high schools, they want these kids to be multi-sport athletes. There's no doubt about it.
Well, you would think so, Sweet Lou, but some of these guys, they make it tough on you. I mean, my thing is, it's hard because there's everything so year-round now. I mean, if you're playing a football, in the summertime they have all these 7-on-7s, or it's summer league basketball.
Yep.
But whatever happened to playing baseball when it's warm, when it's wintertime you play basketball, and in the fall you play football. And so
Absolutely.
It's tougher and tougher for the kids, but I love to see kids that are athletes, multi-sport athletes.
Again, a foul ball, and again,
Young freshman is fighting.
Farrell, a outstanding at bat here. He's fouled off 3 now, I think.
Yep.
Still 0-2. Again, Clay Bowman pitch count going up steadily here. 0-2 pitch with 2 outs. There's a ball finally.
With me being as lazy as I am, Sweet Lou, I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. This is a great time to have Jeff be the home team, because after the game you don't have to do any field work.
That's true.
You pack your stuff up, you get in the bus, and you go home.
That's right. That's right.
That is tremendous.
1-2 coming from Bowman. And that's in there for called strike 3, and Farrell, a strikeout victim. That ends the inning. No runs, no hits. There was a runner left, and we're in the middle of the second. It's McCutcheon nothing, Lafayette Jeff nothing. We'll take a short break. You're watching Bronco Baseball. Sweet Lou, Jeff Luzada back here at McCutcheon. We head to the bottom of the second inning. Broncos will send up 5, 6, and 7 hitters to face the right-hander, Carson Smith. He winds and delivers. Pitch just inside. That looked pretty good from here.
And Cole Bridge hit the second of the back-to-back doubles in the top of the 7th in that last game. And that ball hit really hard. Should have been fielded by Evan Allen, but that ball was absolutely smoked by Cole Bridge. So really good swing by him.
2 balls, no strikes. Bryce Marcus in the on-deck circle.
Ooh.
There's a pitch on the inside corner for a called strike. 2 balls, 1 strike now on the right-handed batting Cole Bridge.
Fastball inside part of the plate. Good pitch there by Carson Smith. Good take by Cole Bridge as well, I think.
2-1 pitch coming. There's a ground ball to the second baseman, Farrell. He throws over to McNeely for out number 1 here in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, Rowan fielded that with a little too much throwing hand, it looked like there, but he's able to keep it in the glove and make the throw over to first base for the first out of the inning.
So 1 up, 1 down. Brings up second baseman, Bryce Marcus.
Nothing like being thrown into the fire in a rivalry situation for the freshman Rowan Farrell.
Here's a called strike through the heart of the plate.
But you know what? With all the varsity basketball he's played this year, he's used to the high level of competition.
Carson Smith winds and delivers. There's a pitch on the outside corner for called strike 2. So 0-2 on the second baseman for the Jeff Broncos, Bryce Marcus. 1 out, bases empty here. We're in the bottom of the second inning, no score. Pitch high and away for a ball. Well, I don't know where the Hoosiers stand as far as the standings, but after that series against Maryland over the weekend, there's a ground ball. Miller at short, over to first.
Nice job.
2 up, 2 down. But what I was getting at is Hoosiers, hopefully, if the tournament started tomorrow, they'd qualify to be in that Big Ten tournament, which they're hosting.
Yeah, and really, Sweet Lou, I think they're looking more towards not just the Big Ten tournament, but, you know, from a national scene, they're positioning themselves very well for a regional right now because they've jumped. I think they're like 22nd as far as RPI is concerned now.
Wow.
And
boy, that would be something to host the Big Ten tournament and then host the Super Regional.
But they have really, they've had 3 big-time series in a row against big-time teams, and they've won them all. So it's been impressive.
Dylan Wagner takes a strike from Carson Smith. There's a fly ball.
That's going to be trouble.
That's going to fall in there as a heck of an effort by Farrell as his body was full extended towards center field, but just out of the reach of the second baseman.
That was a tremendous effort by Rowan Farrell, and it looked like he had it, and that ball just hit off the end of his glove. But really, really nice job there by Rowan.
So that's the first hit for
Looks
the
like
Broncos.
Nico Martin, courtesy running for the catcher.
So Martin running at first base. That brings up first baseman batting left-handed Nick Ewell. He takes a pitch on the outside corner for a called strike. Game number 2 here from McCutcheon. Jeff won the first game by a score of 5-4. That ball has hit a towering fly ball into right field. Lathrop got it for the out. That ball was skied way up in the air off the bat of Nick Ewell.
That's what you call a major league fly ball there, Sweet Lou.
That ball was well hit, but he got under too much, and that'll end the inning. No runs on a hit, and we've played 2 complete here from McCutcheon, and there's no score. The Mavericks will send up their 1, 2, and 3 hitters again to face Clay Bowman. We'll see how much longer Clay Bowman can go because he was the winning pitcher in Game 1 in relief. First game starter for the Broncos was Riley Potts. And Bowman came in and was credited with the victory.
Yeah, I don't know, Sweet Lou. I mean, can't imagine Clay's going to be able to go much longer in this game.
Broncos will take tomorrow off and then weather permitting, head down to take on the Carmel Greyhounds. And that's going to be a tall, number one in the state. Going to be a tall task for the Broncos, but glad to see some competition on the schedule, not taking any of the teams already on our schedule, but you kind of get a measuring stick on how good you are when you go down and play at Carmel.
Tell you what, they pitch really well. They don't defend all that well right now, but they really can swing it. They can really swing it.
There's a pitch up, ball one to the right fielder, Darren Lathrop. Lathrop, excuse me. Here's the 1-0 to Lathrop, and that's in there for a called strike. Broncos now with 11 wins, 11-4-2. Mavericks now 8-5.
Whoa.
Ground ball foul off the hands.
It's kind of that self-preservation swing right there. Either you swing and foul that off, or you wear one in the chops right there by Darren Lathrop.
Pitch outside.
Good job there by Wagner. Sliding out there to block that ball. Darren's going to get something to hit here.
3-1. And there's ball 4 down low.
Maxwell's been very consistent. He's not giving that low pitch. And it looks like Coach McTaggart is going to hobble out to the mound. And this is going to take a while, folks.
He's looking down to the bullpen and seeing if so he's ready. As he hop along Cassidy, crosses the white line there.
I didn't find out what was wrong with him, but I cannot wait to find out. He is hobbling along.
Well, we are going to have a pitching change for Lafayette Jeff. As the call to the bullpen by Coach McTaggart, that's going to be all for Clay Bowman. We'll sort out the changes here. Take a short break. You're watching Bronco Baseball here on the web. Sweet Lou, Jeff Luzader back here at McCutcheon High School with pitching change. Now pitching Riley Eberhardt for the Broncos.
You know, Sweet Lou, it's always something to watch, as we talk about it all the time with Riley Eberhardt. You know, having him come in relief, it's interesting because we know when Riley's going well, he normally comes out and he usually has a rough first inning. He has trouble finding his command early in the game. But if he's allowed to stay in long enough, he usually picks it up after that, and he can be really good. But normally if he has a bad inning, it's usually that first inning of work.
Well, there's a ball to Talcott.
It's a tough day for Bryce Marcus. I mean, he gets a start at second, and he has come out early because of the pitching change. And Bryce has played pretty well in the opportunities he's had this year. Hate to see that for him.
Throw over to first by Eberhardt. Dylan Wagner catching for the Broncos. Jones at third, Walker at short, Bowman now at second, Ewell at first. And there's a call or a strike to Talcott. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, even though Clay Jones is right in Eli's face, Eli's not afraid to lay down that bunt because, like I said, Eli can really run, and normally he's a really good bunter. And so if he lays it down, it's going to be tough.
Stretching the pitch, and that ball gets by Wagner, and into second base goes Lathrop.
That's going to be a
wild, pass.
No, I think that one's a wild pitch.
Wild pitch?
That one bounced and
okay.
Wags. That's a tough chance for him back there.
Lathrop now on at second base on the wild pitch. He's now in scoring position for the Mavericks. Two balls, 1 strike. Stretching the pitch. That's just outside for a ball, and it's now 3-1.
This is what you have to really be careful with Riley. I mean, you bring him in and not a clean inning. You have a runner on first already, and like I said, when he struggles a little bit, it's usually that first inning of work.
There's a bunt attempt foul off the bat of Talcott.
Got to tell his dad over here next to me to relax. He just hit a 3-run base clearing triple in the last game, Coach.
Count now 3-2 on Eli. Here's the pitch. There's a ground ball to the second baseman, Bowman. He can't make the play.
You know, I'm saying that's going to be a base hit to me because that's going to be, again, Eli runs really well. That's going to take a heck of a play by Clay Bowman. He's got the backhand and make a throw on the run, all in one motion, and get him out.
I agree. So an infield single for Talcott. And Lathrop now on at third base. Talcott on at first. Nobody out.
Yep.
And Mr. Eberhardt is in a real jam here.
Yeah, I got to deal with the home team, the home scorers here. That's a base hit. I mean, that's a tough play by second base. It's going to take a heck of a play to get him out. Oh.
There's a curveball in there for a called strike.
Yeah, you're right. It's a curveball in there for a called strike, but that's not the curveball you want for a called strike, especially right now, because that thing's hanging up on the middle of the plate for Jackson, and that's the one he can hit really hard.
0-2 pitch coming. Lefty versus lefty. Gets hit on one on the hands and fouls it off to the left and out of play.
And that was still an 0-2 pitch that got way too much of the plate. You know, if you're going to go with a fastball, you got to be up and in and kind of tie up Jackson a little bit. If you miss,
called strike 3.
Throws him on the outside corner there.
So that's a first out here in the top of the third inning for McCutcheon.
It's a good spot. I don't think Jackson was looking for that fastball there. He's probably looking for a breaking ball there. So was I. But everybody was able to freeze him on a fastball on the outside part of the plate.
Peyton Williams, the catcher, now batting. 1 out, still runners on the corners for the Mavericks. throw over to first, and they may, not sure where, Lathrop may have tried to make a run toward home plate, score the first run of the ball game.
Yeah, and I like that play by Darren Lathrop because if there's any bobble at all on Nick Yule's part, he's scoring on that.
There's a called strike through the heart of the plate. No balls, one strike on the catcher for the Mavericks, Peyton Williams.
Peyton Williams walking his first at bat. Peyton would be a double play candidate if you get a ground ball here, but that's the one.
There's a throw. He is safe. Eberhardt gloved it. He's going to try and make a play, and he throws away from Nick Yule. Nick Yule not on the bag, so that's probably going to be an error on Eberhardt.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an E1.
Yep.
But how many times do you see that in a baseball game? And again, you can't coach the aggressiveness out of a pitcher, but if Riley lets that ball go through, that may be an easier 6-4-3 double play
yep.
for Justin, or it may be a 6-3 unassisted double play. But when he fields his position so well like that, that takes all that out of the equation, and then he tries to spin around to make a throw to first, and he throws wide, and we don't get any outs. So now it's bases loaded with one out.
Fly ball down the right field line, giving Chase's bridge. That's going to be foul by about 10 feet off the bat of Colin All. So Broncos in a world of hurt here. Bases loaded, one out. At the top of the third inning.
You know, Sweet Lou, the way this game is going, I wish that play was a little bit closer for Cole Bridge, because that's a situation you'd love to see if the player's thinking out there. That may be the time where you want to drop or let the foul ball drop and not catch it, because if you catch that ball, it's definitely going to be a run. And not only that, the runner at second is going to advance to third. I
agree wholeheartedly. Counts even now, 1 ball, 1 strike.
The problem is, though, I don't know if I want to give Colin All another opportunity to hit by dropping it. So it's one of those tough decisions, but you got to be on your toes.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, bases loaded for the Mavericks. Curveball in there from Eberhardt for a called strike.
That was definitely around the plate, but if I'm Riley Eberhardt, I'd try that same pitch again to see if Colin's going to go after it. Because I think anything that's going to come middle into him, he's going to hit it hard. Got to stay away from Colin in this situation.
1-2 pitch.
Ooh.
And a foul ball. That's over the Bronco dugout.
And he was
out of play.
And he was able to get in and kind of got a little bit under Colin's hands, and Colin's able to fight it off. Wasn't able to get the barrel to it.
Golden opportunity here for the Mavericks. No score here. We're in the top of the third inning. 1-2's account with 1 out. Eberhardt stretches, pitches, and swing and a miss. That's out number 2.
Good pitch there. Good breaking ball there by Eberhardt. The Colin All just swings right over the top of.
So 2 outs. And that'll bring up Evan Allen. Look out for this guy. He can do some damage here real quick.
As we said earlier, he's looking to do it right away.
Pitch outside of ball. That curveball almost got away from Riley Eberhardt.
I wonder if Evan Allen's got the hives today from, like, taking so many pitches. He's probably, like, jittery. He's got the hives. Like, what the heck's going on? You know, he doesn't like taking pitches.
Now time called by Allen at home plate. No place to put him. Lathrop at third. Talcott at second. Williams at first base. Bases loaded with Mavericks. Here's the pitch, and that's high.
Sweet Lou, you're a Reds fan, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was a Reds, not a Cardinals. But do you remember Hal Morris?
Absolutely.
Left-handed hitter that walked all over the batter's box.
Oh, yeah. Always had his feet moving.
Yes. Evan Allen's got some of that in him. Look at him.
Yeah, he sure is.
Toe tapping, and he's got it down. Oh,
there's a pitch all the way to the backstop, and in comes Lathrop, and the Mavericks of McCutcheon lead by a score of 1-0.
And And that is going to be a wild pitch there. And that was Darren Lathrop that scores, and everyone else advances up.
Talcott now on at third base. And Williams now on at second. So a base hit by Allen, and this game could be busted wide open here. 1-0. There are 2 outs. And that ball gets off the glove of Dylan Wagner, but not far enough for and the count's 3-1 apparently. A pitch outside, ball 4. So again, the bases are loaded with Mavericks.
So Evan Allen walks, loads the bases up again with 2 outs for Cody McNeely. Still 2 outs in the inning. If you're Eberhard, you got to make a quality pitch. Try to find a way to get your way out of this inning and minimize the damage.
Brings up Kobe McNeely, the first baseman. I think this guy looks like if he could make contact, he hit the ball a long way. There's a called strike from Riley Eberhard. Eberhard now going from the windup.
You know, Kobe he's not a big power hitter. He's got pretty good contact here. Likes to hit the ball the right side. Good job.
Pitch inside, a breaking ball from Eberhard, and Wagner makes a nice play to keep it in front of him.
Yeah, I think he's going to need a cold bath after the game today, Sweet Lou. He's all over the place.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Pitch down low for a ball, 2-1.
Sweet Lou, we said it early in the first game, but what is it? May 2nd, right?
May 2nd, my mother's birthday.
And we're still in Indiana with winter coats on for some people at a baseball game.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It's not right.
Called strike.
This sport was not meant to be played in this kind of weather.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Pitch outside, and that's going to set it up. The runners will be moving here. Bases loaded.
Yes,
3-2 count.
Love the situation as a hitter. A lot of movement on the field.
Here's the pitch from Eberhard. That's a foul ball back to the screen, and McNeely hanging in there.
And there's your 60 to 70% of the time stat with a full count. That next pitch is normally a foul ball. Kobe
I think there needs to be a stat made for that.
I agree.
3-2 pitch. There goes the runners, and there's ball 4, and that walks in a run. Talcott comes in on the walk. It's now 2-0 in favor of the Mavericks. Still 2 outs. Bases remain loaded, and that brings up the shortstop, Ben Miller.
Riley's got to find a way, Sweet Lou. He's got to either pitch the contact or get a strikeout. He's got to find a way to get out of this inning without any more further damage.
Wind up in the pitch, and there's a foul ball.
Oh, my goodness. He got smoked again.
And that went off the mask of home plate umpire Mark Maxwell. And
yep, the hands going to hips. He's frustrated right now, folks. He's thinking, what did I do? Why are the baseball gods punishing me right now? And I love it. Let me see who that is. I think that's Rowan Farrell. So Rowan, just listen, that's a smart freshman there, okay? He runs right out and gives the umpire that water bottle. If I'm Rowan, I make sure I tell him my name and number as I'm giving that water bottle. So when I go up to the plate with my next at bat, he knows that was me. I like that.
Yeah, here comes Steve Hoffman, the base umpire, to see if he's okay.
As long as Mr. Hoffman's not putting that gear on again, we're okay. I'm sorry, I can't.
Maybe we can pull somebody out of the crowd here to umpire.
Oh, we're getting slap happy. We're having some fun. You gotta love it. I just wish it was 25 degrees warmer.
No balls, one strike. Here's the windup and the pitch. The pitch outside just a bit, evens the count 1-1. Bases remain loaded. Williams at third, Allen at second, McNeely on at first. 2 runs in for McCutcheon here in the top of the third inning. And a little looper second baseman Bowman says he's got it. Sounded like that Miller may have hit that right off the end of the bat, Chris, but we'll take it in the out, but the damage done. 2 runs on 1 hit for the Mavericks as we head to the bottom of the third inning. McCutcheon leading Lafayette Jeff here in game number 2 by a score of 2-0. We'll take a short break. You're watching Bronco baseball. Sweet Lou Jeff Luzader back here at McCutcheon High School as we head in the bottom of the third inning. Yeah, the Broncos of Lafayette Jeff home team here in game number 2. But they trail the visiting team on their home field, the McCutcheon Mavericks, by a score of 2-0. And Carson Smith will face 9-1-2. And first pitch swinging is Williams. He throws over to all from third base. McNeely able to keep his foot on the bag for out number 1.
I didn't notice that. So is that Colin All at third and Kobe McNeely at first, and kind of gets a ground ball, fields it, throws a little bit wide, but Kobe's able to use that 6'2" frame of his and stretch out and make the play.
Again, first pitch swinging again to All at third base. He throws Clay Jones out, and we've got 2 pitches and 2 quick outs.
You know, it's one of these situations, Sweet Lou, where Justin had a rough first game, and I know he wants to swing at something straight early, but if I'm Carson Smith, I'm throwing the first one right down the middle because Justin better not be swinging. I mean, you can't swing at this pitch. I mean, you've had 2 pitches and 2 outs after you had a long last half inning. All right.
Ball 1 to Justin Walker.
Now you can swing. I know he don't want to take more than 1. Oh, man.
Walker hit by a pitch. There's a pitch on the outside for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. 2-0 pitch. Outside ball 3. Well, I'm not to be bragging on my Cincinnati Reds, Chris, but just see how about my Drew Storen. 9 pitches the other night for about, I think, third or fourth time in Major League Baseball that a guy's thrown 9 pitches. He got 3 outs. And he didn't even know he'd done it until he got into the dugout, I don't think. But
I'm getting real tired of you talking about those Cincinnati Reds, Sweet Lou.
Yeah. Here's a pitch outside, ball 4.
See, that, you know, that's the one I'm talking about right there, Sweet Lou. It's a close pitch, but it's outside. But like I said, in the first game, he was called out on 2 of those. So how do you, as a coach or a dad of a hitter that has pretty good plate discipline, teach him, hey, you got to protect, but not really.
Yeah.
You're gonna force bad habits on yourself.
Well, pretty good lead for Justin on the walk. He's got a good lead at first base. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. There's a called strike to Clay Bowman.
Peyton Williams calls timeout. Going to go talk to Carson Smith because they know that Justin's got to be thinking about trying to steal a base here. I don't like the leadoff. Justin is a little close there. I mean, you got to get another step or so if you're going to try to steal this base. Because, like I said, Peyton, not quite the same arm as Tyson, but he does have a quick release.
Yeah, so good lead over there for Justin. No balls, 1 strike on Clay Bowman. Now a throw over there, Justin back safely.
See, that's what I mean. If you're able to get back that easy, you got to find a way to get another step. I mean, you get to a point in baseball to where, sometimes you can get away with it in high school baseball, but when you get to the next level, I mean, all these catchers can throw, right? And so you got to try to maximize.
There's a pop-up on the infield. Third baseman all makes the play, and he ties a major league record, I think, for at least involved in all 3 outs. 2 ground balls and now a pop-up there. So we played 3 innings here from McCutcheon. And McCutcheon leads Lafayette Jeff by a score of 2-0 as we head into the 4th inning. We'll take a short audio break. You're watching Bronco Baseball here on the web. Sweet Lou Jeff Luzader back here at McCutcheon, along with my sidekick, Chris Walker. As we head into the top of the 4th inning, Mavericks playing on visitors on their home field, but this is the second game of a doubleheader, as the first game last night, supposed to be played at Loeb Stadium, was rained out.
Hey, and as we said last inning, Rowan Farrell needed, when he stepped in that batter's box, get a little tap with his bat to the umpire, say, hey, remember that water bottle you got? That was me the last time, sir.
Foul ball back to the screen, and Roland Farrell is in a hole 0-2. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Mavericks. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 error for Jefferson. There's a swing out as Wagner drops the 3rd strike, but goes ahead and throws down to Ewell at first base to record the out. 1 up, 1 down.
And folks, good pitch there by Riley Eberhardt. Good block there by Dylan Wagner. Throws down to first base to finish the play for the first out. We have Cody Strong with us in the press box today, and I had the pleasure of watching Cody. I mean, Cody obviously played here at McCutcheon, but played at Purdue as well, and watched him a lot there. And I'll tell you, I said it when I broadcast the Purdue game last year. Folks, if you have a young kid, you want to go have them watch Cody Strong play the game of baseball. The way he plays, hustles on and off the field, great attitude, good swing there by Darren Lathrop.
Fly ball to Cole Bridge in right field for out number 1 for the Mavericks. Go ahead, Chris.
Yes, for the second out, he lines out to Cole Bridge, but Cody, I mean, I saw him, I think it was his junior year. I don't know if he ended up hitting with the batting average he wanted, but I saw him smoke balls time and time again at the center fielder. Did everything you're supposed to do, but you don't have the luck, but it never affected his defense. I think Cody had 2 plays that were Sports Center type plays that year.
First pitch swinging. And he does make the catch.
Wow.
Does Connor Hamilton, and he, whether he lost it in the lights or didn't pick it up right, but that was all a shoestring catch in center field to end the inning. So
good play there by Connor. It looked like he may have lost that ball in the lights right away, but he was able to recapture it and make the play. But just to finish my point about Cody, I mean, it was really fun to watch him play, and I think what Cody had is you can't teach it. I mean, I've been trying to talk to my son about it for years. It's in order to be good at this game, obviously you have to be talented, but if you don't have the mental makeup to play, it's going to be hard, because this game, as an offensive player, you're going to fail 70% of the time. And if you let that wear on you, it did to me. I mean, I couldn't handle it. I'm just telling you. And but Cody, that's a part of the game to me, in my opinion. Watching him, he mastered it, and it was fun to watch. It really was.
Well, of course, my hero was Pete Rose.
Yep.
And I would run down on a walk, run faster to first base on a walk than I would on a base hit.
Yeah, well, we talked about it before. I mean, Pete Rose, we love the comment, the quote that he made, and when he was asked, Pete, why do you always hustle? And his comment was, there may be someone in the stands watching me for the first time, and that's so true. I mean, I've always said, I mean, it's tough to hit a round ball with a round bat and to do it consistently, but you do not have to be a good baseball player to have a good attitude and to hustle.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, so if you can't do those two things, I mean, you're probably not going to make it very long in this game, because, like I said, you're going to fail offensively 7 out of 10 times. You just are.
Well, we head to the bottom of the fourth inning. Broncos of Lafayette Jeff, the home team here, trailing by a score of 2-0. Carson Smith pitching a heck of a game for the Mavericks. There's a curveball in there for a called strike to Jay Siegel. Can't remember his name. I'm old, Chris, and I can't remember, but what was the guy's name from the Red Sox last night that said it's going to be the next Fred Lynn?
Oh, Andrew Benintendi.
Yeah, he's got a baseball name, I think. Oh, there's a bobble. Throw to first. Safe at first base is Jay Siegel. That was a close play. That's probably going to be an error.
Yeah, it'd be an E4 there.
Charged to Farrell.
A young freshman. But no, Sweet Lou.
Say his name again.
Andrew Benintendi.
Yeah.
He played at the University of Arkansas, and I think he's originally out of Ohio. But I'm telling you, his junior year was ridiculous at Arkansas. I mean, he turned into a slugger. I mean, he hit 18 home runs or something like that, and you knew all along he was going to be a pretty high pick. And I think he went in the top 10. I think he went 8 overall his junior year. But what's more impressive is how quickly he's made it to the big leagues, and he's there to stay. I mean, he's a player.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I remember when Fred Lynn played, and he was a tremendous Major League Baseball player.
Benny Baseball, as they call him, man. He can really play the game.
A bunt attempt by Cole Bridge is foul.
It's funny you bring him up. I think the announcer said last night when he came up to bat something like, if you saw him walking in the streets in Boston, you would not think he's a Major League Baseball player. And, he's probably 6 feet max, but don't let that fool you. I mean, that kid is solid. He's a really strong kid.
Yeah, I was real impressed with him. There's a pitch just a little bit low from Carson Smith. It's now 2 balls, 1 strike. Runner on first.
You imagine those high school games, because Benintendi and Schwarber are from the same area.
Schwarber, I'm telling you, he's just tremendous.
I tell you, Cody and I were talking about it in between games. I mean, obviously I'm a big Kyle Schwarber fan, but that IU team, Kyle Schwarber's junior year, had another player, and I'm partial to him because he went to my high school. But Sam Travis is in AAA right now with the Red Sox, and he's less than a year away from the big leagues. He may be a better hitter than Schwarber. He doesn't hit with the same power, home run power, but as far as contact, he hits missiles all over the yard.
There's a ball off the handle of Bridge.
Play. Oh, wow.
And they called him out at first base.
No,
he called him safe?
Safe.
Called him safe.
That's interesting that they said he came off the base, but he went directly to the throw. I had the window blocked here. Didn't get a good
So we've got Broncos on first and second
That's
now.
an infield hit there.
Yeah.
For Bridge. Puts runners on first and second with no outs.
So Siegel on at second, Bridge on at first, brings up Riley Eberhardt, pitcher versus pitcher here. The tying runs on base for Lafayette Jeff. Now a throw back to second. And Siegel safe, but that was a nice move by the right-hander, Carson Smith.
It was a really nice move, but that's something you see. I mean, and again, I know high school baseball, you have limited practice time, especially when the season starts, but you see it a lot where the rhythm and the timing on pickoff moves, especially to second base and high school players, normally isn't quite where it needs to be.
There's a bunt attempt, and that's going to be caught by Bridge, as again the Broncos try and sacrifice, and instead of getting the ball down on the ground, it pops up in the air.
And did Kobe McNeely make that catch?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna venture to say, after this game, Sweet Lou, I would be surprised if you see Coach McTaggart bunt any more this year, because he already absolutely detests bunting, and we've shown that we don't bunt very well anyway.
Yeah.
So I'd be surprised if he continues to do it.
So we've got one out now. Runners still at first and second. Siegel at second, Bridge at first. Dylan Wagner, the catcher, up, and he calls time.
And I get it.
Now he's back in there.
It is the right baseball play. It's the right coaching move to bunt. You're down toward the bottom third of your lineup, and you're trying to get guys in scoring position, but we just have not executed very well. Good pitch
There's
there by
a dandy
Carson.
of a curveball right there from Smith.
Yep.
Well, I kind of do it. It's like when you get an adult, I think you need to learn how to drive and you need to learn how to swim.
I know how
and
you
as
feel
a baseball
about bunting.
player,
That's right.
you need to learn how to slide and you need to learn how to bunt. I mean, those are two, or you can't call yourself a baseball player. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too critical, but
We've talked about it several times, and you're right. You know how I feel about bunting. And again, I was a leadoff guy, and I hated to bunt. My college coaches never made me bunt. But you're right. You have to be able to get a bunt down. You just have to. There are times in games where you have to do things for your team.
No balls, 2 strikes to Dylan Wagner. Runners, there's a called third strike, and
good pitch.
That's out number 2, and that's a big out for Mr. Smith.
That's a great pitch. Fastball on the outside part of the plate there by Carson. Gets his second strikeout for the game, but that's, like you said, Sweet Lou, that is a huge strikeout for Carson.
So 2 outs now bring up left-handed first baseman Nick Ewell.
Yeah, Nick's dad didn't mess him up like my dad messed me up. Nick does it the right way. Left-handed swinger, right-handed thrower. You know, my dad, Mark Eberhardt, messed up Riley. You know, made him a left-handed thrower, right-handed hitter. You can't do that to baseball players.
Bouncing around out there, Siegel. And there's a pitch gets by the catcher, but not far enough away from Williams to advance either runner.
Good job there by Peyton Williams, able to knock that ball down and does not allow for the base runners to advance.
1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs, runners on first and second for Jeff. Smith, pitch from Smith, fouled back to the screen off the bat of Ewell.
Good rip there by Ewell, fouling it straight back. It's be a big spot for Nick Ewell to come through. Nick struggled a little bit this year. It'll be a good time for him to kind of get out of it, and a base hit should score a run right now with Jay Siegel, who runs well at second base.
Well, it's good to see Coach McTaggart getting some of these other guys getting some at bats here mid-season.
Nick Ewell calls timeout and is granted by the home plate umpire. And Peyton Williams take the opportunity to go talk to his pitcher to make sure they're on the same page.
One ball, 1 strike on Nick Ewell. Ewell, the number 8 batter in the Lafayette Jeff batting order. McCutcheon leading here by a score of 2-0. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning of Game 2. Broncos of Jeff came back in Game 1 in the 7th with 5 runs and won 5-4. There's a pitch through the heart of the plate for called strike 2.
Good pitch, low strike there, I think, from Carson. Really good pitch location.
One ball, 2 strikes. Runners take their leads. Smith stretches pitches. There's a pop-up.
Siegel, get back. Oh, no, there's 2 outs.
2 outs.
Oh, that's hard to see.
Shortstop,
wow.
Miller takes charge, and he makes the play for the Mavericks. And the Broncos, no runs ahead. Excuse me. So after 4 complete, McCutcheon Mavericks lead the Broncos with Lafayette Jeff by a score of 2-0. We'll take a short audio break. You're watching Bronco Baseball. Sweet Lou Jeff Luzader back here at McCutcheon.
No, there's
something's going on in the McCutcheon dugout, on where it's a change or what. But Coach Mark Maxwell, the home plate umpire.
That cracks me up, man. Umpires pay too much
Riley
attention.
Eberhardt. Yep. There's a called strike to Jackson Smeltz. Well, I do know, since I do have my baseball license, there was a memo sent out by Phil Garner from the IHSAA this week regarding hanging out of the dugout. There's a base hit by Smeltz into right field.
So what? Say it again, Sweet Lou.
I say the IHSAA. Yeah, the ball gets away. That's all the way to the. And the first baseman, Nick.
So here, yeah, what happened was Clay
So
Bowman.
we're going to have a hit.
Yeah, Cole Bridge fields it, throws it in to Clay Bowman, and Clay Bowman tries to back pick him, and Nick Yule's not paying attention, so that's going to be an E4.
Yep, it's going to be an E4.
Allowing Jackson Smeltz to advance to second base. So, will Peyton Williams, as your 4-hitter, be bunting Jackson Smeltz over to third base?
Yep, we'll see. Yep, he is. And there's a pitch outside for a ball. Well, that could be a costly error. Broncos are already trailing 2-0, but
yes, sir.
Smeltz now in scoring position with nobody out here in the top of the 5th. There's a called strike at evens account 1-1. Third hit now for the Mavericks. Pitch inside. Count 2 balls, 1 strike.
2-1 on Peyton Williams. Runner on second base here.
One pitch from Eberhardt. It's off the hands and fouled back to the screen. All right, thanks. Count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And You got to love the hospitality here in the
Absolutely.
press box.
I'm just not hungry for popcorn, but got to thank Ryan Walden for the hospitality here at McCutcheon.
I'm telling you.
There's a ground ball.
Oh, it's gonna be tough.
Walker going to third base. There's a tag.
Oh, he dropped
He
the
is
ball.
safe. Jones not able to handle the throw from Justin Walker. And Smeltz slides into third base.
So I think that you have to score that E.
We're going to have a fielder's choice.
E5. Do you give an E5 on that?
Or E6, you mean?
No. It'd be E5 on the.
Oh, a third baseman?
On the catch, because Clay had it.
Yeah.
I don't know how you. Or do you.
That's what I'm going with.
What do you do? I mean, is there an error awarded on that at all? Just give
there wasn't any. Smeltz was not forced by anybody on first base. He could have stayed at second. I'm saying I'm going to give an error to Jones because I think the throw should have been caught.
I mean, it definitely wasn't. He had it.
Yeah.
Jackson actually made up for his poor base running play by kicking the ball out of the glove, was really sliding into the tag. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. And it just happened to be that the throw was right where he slid into it, and he kicked the ball out of his glove. I mean, not intentionally, but that's what happened. So I don't know how you. That's a tough error, though.
Well, obviously,
Yep.
fielder's choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it does.
We give an error. That's 3 errors now on Jeff. Foul ball back to the screen.
I'll tell you what, Jonte Billups is getting a workout here tonight.
Yep.
A lot of courtesy running here today. You know, the tough part about that, Sweet Lou, is, just makes it nice to run through, but you don't get an out on that play, and so it's empty. Now you have first and third with no outs when you at least should have had an opportunity to get an out there.
No balls, 1 strike. So we're giving that a fielder's choice
E5.
E5.
Yes, sir.
No balls, 2 strikes. There's a runner going.
That's that play. That's that first third situation with no outs. And I'm just surprised in high school how long it takes most coaches at times to steal that base, because you see a lot of times in high school you won't even throw down. The catcher won't even throw down to second base, and so you really give him just a warning at free base there. So now Colin's going to have a chance to hit with a drawn in infield, and as a hitter, you love this situation.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 2-0. There's a pitch on the outside corner called strike 3.
Well, the problem is I think the umpire forgot how many strikes he had because he didn't do the ring up. He just gave a regular strike call, but that is strike 3 on Colin All.
Colin All out looking. That's the first out of the inning. Runners remain at third and second. Smeltz at third, Billups at second. 1 out, and that'll bring up Evan Allen, the left fielder.
That's why this game's the toughest game to play. I mean, this thing will wear you down mentally. I mean, Colin All's been hitting everything in sight before today, and he's really had a rough day. But that's the way it goes. I mean, that is just the way it goes. He may come out the next game and go 5 for 5. It's just sometimes, man, this game, I tell you what, sometimes I wish my son did play soccer. This game will wear on you.
No balls, 1 strike.
I'm telling you, Bobby, it's this is not for the faint of heart.
Evan Allen. 1 out, runners on second, third. Jeff Infield pulled in now. There's a pitch outside for a ball.
Good job by Dylan Wagner there, keeping that ball close enough to where the runner, Jackson Smeltz on third base, can't advance home.
Now Clay Bowman comes in to have a word with Riley Eberhardt. Again, Jeff Infield pulled in here trying to cut down a run. They're down 2-0. A base hit here could really hurt the Broncos. 1-1 pitch. A foul ball, and I think Mr. Allen would love to have that one back.
Yeah, he liked that one a little bit. He really liked that one. Oh, sweet Lou, I have to be in Muncie tomorrow morning. I was sure hoping Ball State had a midweek game I could watch, but of course, my luck, I think it's finals week for them.
Yeah. Pitch outside. Well, that's close to my old stomping ground, Dunkirk, Indiana. Just
we talked
25
about that
miles from Muncie.
Wow. I didn't even know that place existed.
Yeah, it used to be the glass capital of Indiana. There's a ground ball to Bowman. They're going to come home. There's no force play.
It's not a force.
So the Lafayette Jeff Broncos go to sleep here. So it's
that's got to be awarded. That I think that has to be awarded an E2 because. Situation was you had runners on second and third. Clay, infield drawn in, ground ball hit the second base, and Clay throws it home like he's supposed to. And Dylan Wagner receives the ball as it was a force out at the plate, but it wasn't a force out. He's got to make the tag, and it would have been a close play, but yikes.
I'm giving him an error.
Yeah,
you got to give an error to the catcher. Run scores. It's now 3-0. Billups on at third base, Allen now on at first, and Kobe McNeely now batting. And you want to give team air or something there, but the Broncos falling fast asleep, thinking bases were loaded. It's going to be a force play at home, and it was not, as runners were only on second, third base. So, wow.
Yeah, that's a tough one. This is a thinking man's game, Sweet Lou. You can't afford to ever fall asleep.
There goes a runner from second. The hit and run was on. A foul ball off to the right now to play off the bat of McNeely. McNeely, the number 7 batter in the McCutcheon batting order. 3-0. McCutcheon on top.
Still only one out.
Yeah.
Evan Allen still not on second base. And it's very important for Evan Allen to find a way to second base because, as we said, Kobe McNeely doesn't run so well.
There's a line shot into right field, and that's going to fall in front of Cole Bridge. Billups comes in to score run number 4 for the McCutcheon Mavericks.
Tell you what, good play there. Good piece of hitting there by Kobe McNeely, but really good play by Cole Bridge because he got caught in between. He didn't know if he wanted to come hard in and try to make the play, catch the ball in the air. He ended up fielding it on one hop, but I tell you what, if that ball gets by him, that's going to be at least 3 bases for Kobe McNeely.
We got a pinch hitter, Andrew Paxton.
Hitting for
right-hander.
Ben Miller.
Yeah. Hit number 4 and run number 4 for the McCutcheon Mavericks. They now lead by a score of 4-0. Allen on at second, McNeely on at first. Still only one out here in the 5th. 2 runs in for McCutcheon. Pitch down low for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Jeff bullpen quiet right now.
It is. I think this is going to be. I think Riley Eberhardt's going to have to take one for the team on this one. You really can't afford to use any more arms today if you don't have to.
Pitch in there for a called strike. Now we do have some shuffling in the Jeff bullpen. Looks like it's Nico Martin. Again, he was down there earlier. Pitch down low, ball 3. 3-1 on the pinch hitter, Andrew Paxton.
Andrew's looking for something straight here he can hit hard.
Here's a 3-1 pitch. That's a foul tip. Or it sounded like a foul tip into the glove
Big
the
cut
catcher,
there.
Dylan Wagner, now full count. Here's the pitch. Again, Paxton fouls it back to the screen.
There's that 3-2 foul ball, Sweet Lou. We need to start tracking it. We need to do our own little statistics on that and see what the percentages equal out as.
Well, you get in the majors, and they foul 6 or 7 of them off before something happens.
I'm telling you.
3-2 pitch again. There's a pop-up
Holy moly.
in foul territory, giving chases Jones, and he has it right in front of the McCutcheon dugout.
Good job by Clay staying on that ball. That's hard to see. Gets that ball up above those lights. It gets tough for you.
It's like another pinch hitter for the Mavericks. Dylan Henning now pinch hitting. Again, a right-handed batter. 2 outs now. Still runners on first and second. Allen at second. McNeely on at first.
So first, second here, Sweet Lou, with 2 outs.
Time was called. Wagner comes out to talk to Eberhardt. And then Allen runs over and wants to talk to his coach in the third base coaching box. And Eberhardt kind of jumps up saying, hey, I'm going to throw him out.
Well, I tell you, Evan ran over with a pace such that he was stealing the base. And,
Yeah.
Kind of fooled me for a second. I didn't know if he was trying to take third base or not.
Four runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Mavericks. No runs, 2 hits, and 3 errors for Jefferson. And there's ball 1 to the pinch hitter, Dylan Henning.
Was that 1 ball or 2 balls?
Yeah, I think that was just there's a called strike.
Gotcha. Man, that's that pitch, though. Left-handed pitcher throwing a right-handed hitter. Next ball's coming down and in, man. That's the one you can drop the bat head on, and those balls go a long way.
1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch outside, 2-1 now. There are 2 outs here in the 5th. 2 runs in for McCutcheon.
It's a nice spot in the lineup for McCutcheon.
There's a called strike. Count even 2-2 with 2 outs.
Dylan's taken 2 pretty good pitches so far in this at-bat for strikes. Surprised he didn't let take a rip on any of those.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's in there for called strike 3, and Henning caught looking to end the inning. But the damage is done. Mavericks come up with 2 runs. There was 2 hits, and there were 2 Bronco errors. And we head to the bottom of the 4th with the score, McCutcheon 4, Lafayette Jefferson 0. Take a short audio break. You're watching Bronco Baseball. Sweet Lou, Jeff Luzader back here at McCutcheon. 9-1-2 for the Broncos as they're facing Carson Smith. And Mr. Smith throwing a 2-hitter here. There's a little
Yeah.
Little hop, skip, and a jump there by Coach McTaggart. He must be feeling better.
Well, I don't know.
He's got a little kick in his.
I'm wondering, Sweet Lou, if the air temperature is acting as ice for his ankle, and giving him the ability to move around a little better.
Yeah. There's ball one to the left fielder, J.T. Williams. There's a line shot foul down the left field line, out of play. Well, looking at these McCutcheon starters, they kind of remind me they're not as, potent as you want to say, but we've faced two other guys, namely Wildcats from Kokomo. They have a 1-2 punch. But I'm really impressed with the two starting pitchers here for the Mavericks.
Yeah, it's good arms. They've executed very well today.
Where they're around the plate, they throw strikes.
Yeah.
They don't.
Oh.
Foul ball
My
way
goodness.
left.
That's going to get someone's car there. That right there is really hard to do. As a right-handed hitter, to foul a ball off, to pull it that much, that's hard to do.
2-2 pitch coming.
Oh.
And that stays high, says home plate umpire Mark Maxwell. I thought maybe that might have dropped into the zone. But
yeah, that's close, but good eye by JT. Maxwell thinks it's a little bit up. But I'll tell you what, you better be swinging if we get that again.
3-2. There's a line shot.
Ouch.
To the third baseman, all over to first base for the out. That ball was hit on the ground like a rocket.
Really good play there by Colin All. I thought he bobbled it, but no, he fielded it cleanly, able to gather himself and make a strong throw over to first base for the first out in the inning. Nice play by Colin All.
Well, that'll bring up Clay Jones, third baseman for Jeff. Pitch outside, ball one.
Carson's getting some pretty good break on that breaking ball right now. That thing's moving pretty good.
I think Mr. Smith still got some good stuff here in the fifth inning.
He does.
I don't know what his pitch count is, but pitch inside for a ball. Well, I've seen Harrison. Now I've seen McCutcheon. Of course, I know us. We've seen Kokomo. It's going to be a heck of a Kokomo sectional here in about 4 weeks. Pitch down low for a ball.
Kind of crazy how quickly that has kind of
coming fast.
Yeah, really has.
Well, we're midway through the season, no doubt about that. There's a ball four, and that was 4 straight.
Wow.
From Smith, and those are all pretty close pitches.
Yes, they were.
So that'll bring up Justin Walker with Jones on at first base. 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. McCutcheon leading 4-0.
Carson taking a long look in there to get the right sign and didn't like it. Justin does not have an official at bat. His first two plate appearances, he was hit by a pitch and then walked.
Pitch outside for a ball. What a lead over there for Jones.
Yeah, that may be a little bit too much for my liking right now.
I was going to say.
We're down 4 runs. That's can't afford to get picked off over there. Man, that's big.
That is a lead. Foul ball off to the left, out of play. Well, I'm trying to think of the starting pitcher for the Cardinals from Brownsburg when the Reds were at Lance Lynn. Boy, you got Tucker Barnhart and those guys were in St. Louis. They probably went out and talked about Bulldog days. Goes the runner.
Oh man!
Well, he thought he was going. He
That's
made
a good
fake.
pitch by Carson.
Yeah, that was a close pitch. Let me tell you.
Yes, it was.
2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out.
Oh,
and he gets hit again.
Carson did. I actually think it did get him, but he's able to
pitch inside. I guess it didn't get him. It's 3-1.
Sound like it from here.
Yeah, 3-1 now.
No.
Justin already been hit once. There's ball 4. Puts runners on first and second.
Well, we had to talk about on-base percentage today. That's been the only time Justin's been able to get on base lately and walks, so you'll take it.
Well, I talked about it earlier in the season, Chris, that, where they're looking on max preps or where they're going to see games, but I knew this was going to kind of catch up with your son, and people are kind of pitching around him here a little bit, knowing what kind of hitter he is. Of course, I think he's either tied or league leader in home runs in the North Central Conference with 4.
I think Jack Perkins jumped him. Jack's got 5 because he hit a rocket shot straight away center field here. But, listen, Justin's not going to lead any league in home runs. I mean, he's had a good year with that. I mean, he's struggled as of late. I mean, but you're right. It's interesting because he's been hitting leadoff all year, and we finally got to Harrison, and Harrison kind of got smart, and so they intentionally walked him a couple times. So we pushed McTaggart to try to avoid that. He put him in a 2-hole and hit Ferguson behind him. Well, then they just started intentionally walking Ferguson the whole time, and so. And again, it's the smart thing to do because we just haven't hit well as a team this year. Yeah. I mean, and those two have been hitting well. So, again, you have to go into a series against us and say you're not going to let those two beat you.
There's a called strike to Clay Bowman. Well, we either turn it on or turn it off. We had it off there through 6 innings in the first game, and then finally we broke loose and hit the ball pretty good to win game number 1, but again, the bats are silent here, only 2 hits. There's a pop-up in the infield.
Infield fly rule.
Yeah, infield fly rule is,
I was just getting ready to say, the good thing that we've been seeing is lately Clay Bowman looks like he's coming out of a little funk, and, he's hit the ball hard a couple times a day. In this game, he doesn't have anything to show for it, but as he hits the fly ball to the shortstop, Ben Miller there. But now Jay Siegel is up, and he's going to need some two-out action from him here to try to score a run.
So 2 outs.
Wow.
There's a pitch down low for a ball.
Man, Carson, that thing is breaking pretty hard, man. Wow.
So 2 outs now. Runners remain at first and second. Jones at second. Walker at first. No balls, 1 strike on Jay Siegel. Now time called by home plate umpire Mark Maxwell.
I watched. I called the McCutcheon-Harrison game for MTC Sports, and I don't think Carson had this type of velocity. And, again, it was an interesting thing. I've never done it before, but we called that game from the trailer out in the right field, out near the football field. So we weren't in the press box. And so it was interesting. You couldn't really tell, but it didn't look like he had his best velocity during that game. But he's throwing pretty well today. And I just saw home plate umpire Mark Maxwell looked in the McCutcheon dugout again. I think someone's barking at him right now.
Yeah, somebody was saying something about that timeout call, but there's a called strike. It's now 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, getting late. It's about almost 9:30 here. I don't think Mr. Maxwell wants to mess with anybody, so he's not going to take a whole lot.
Good thing is I'm about 3 minutes away from my house.
Yeah. Pitch outside, 2-1.
Sure hope my wife's taking care of dinner tonight, I'm afraid not because she ended up showing up at the game. She's supposed to stay home and listen to us, and she shows up for the second game. So she probably messed up my situation,
2 balls, 1 strike.
No, Lisa Tug was just asking me if I told Julie not to come and watch her, but no, she hadn't been feeling well and she didn't want to come out in the weather. I said, honey, it's easy for you. I mean, you can
3-1.
Listen to the broadcast. You'll have Sweet Lou and I doing the first game, and Brent and Bobby doing the second game. And then she texted me after the first game, said, I think I'm going to come out. Why? So she's here. So
3-1. Fly ball. Miller, the shortstop, makes the play.
Ben Miller,
I'm telling you, I'm impressed with that shortstop.
I agree.
That guy is really taking charge out there.
Those aren't easy because I tell you, it's not it's probably past the twilight, but I tell you, when that ball gets above the lights, it's tough to pick up. But Ben Miller's done a very nice job staying on top of those.
Well, we're going to head to the top of the 6th inning. McCutcheon leading Lafayette Jeff 4-0. And again, Broncos won the first game by a score of 5-4. And we'll probably know after tonight's game where we'll be going on Saturday for the start of the North Central Conference tournament, whether we'll be hosting or whether we'll be on the road. But according to the weatherman, I think the weather's supposed to turn foul. I know at least either maybe tomorrow or Thursday, definitely.
You know, we've talked about it before, Sweet Lou. I'm not a big fan of the conference tournament. I would much rather see us play everyone in the conference. I know we have some teams that are far away, but I'm not sure if I'm sold on the format just yet. I mean, I'd rather see us find a way, even if it means, play doubleheaders on weekends. If you have to travel to a Richmond or wherever.
Well, I remember those days, and of course you get into prom season 2, and then you get into foul weather and when you're going to make these conference games up. And
well, I guess I say that to say this. I mean, I know in our case, the last 2 years, I think we lost 2 conference games in the 2 years, and you have one conference championship to show for it. I look at a team like Kokomo, who I believe right now, I think they're either 6 or 8-0 in conference right now.
Yep.
If you're Kokomo and you go undefeated through the regular season and then you don't win the tournament, you have nothing to show for you that really good year you had. And I get it anymore in Indiana high school sports. It's not so much about the conference; it's about sectionals. But heck, if you're a player, you want to win the conference first, and then you focus on the sectional after that.
I agree with you. Agree with you wholeheartedly. Well, Riley Eberhardt still on the mound for the Broncos. He's facing Darrell Lathrop. 1 ball, 1 strike on Lathrop. There's a ball. One ball, 1 strike. 2 balls a strike now. There's a line drive on the ground. Nice play by Walker over to first base. And they're probably going to be. Think that's an error?
Yeah, I mean, I'm ruling it an error because again, you make the tough stop, but then you make the throw that's wide. I mean, I think it has to be.
We're going to give Justin Walker an error.
Oh. Yeah, I hear you.
3rd error for the Broncos. That puts Lathrop on at first base for McCutcheon. Brings up Eli Talcott. He first pitch swinging, and that's going to be a base hit right in front of J.T. Williams in left field. So McCutcheon back at it again here. Runners on first and second. Nobody out here in the 6th inning.
So we're back to Jackson. He is 2 for 3 on the day.
Lathrop on it. Go ahead. Single. Lathrop on it second. Talcott on it first. Brings up Jackson Smeltz. Check swing. Foul down the left field line. No balls, 1 strike.
Ooh.
A foul ball right back to us here.
Jackson looks pretty locked in right now. You're going to have to throw something off the plate. He probably throw that sweeping breaking ball, try to start down the middle of the plate, see if Jackson will chase it because, I mean, he's not being fooled by very much right now.
No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Eberhardt. And a pop-up again, foul, out of play. That may be, I parked a couple rows over. Hopefully that didn't get in my car. Now Eberhardt 0-2. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to Bowman at second. He's going to go to first base, and both runners move up to second and third. 1 out now.
So runners move up. And I think that's a breaking ball there that Jackson kind of pulls, gets out in front of a little bit, hits a ground ball to second base, but it's not hit hard enough to turn a double play. Clay Bowman's able to get the out at first base. So you have 1 out now for Peyton Williams, the 4-hitter, with runners on second and third.
Playing my kind of music there. I'm a big Beatles fan. Love the Beatles. Pitch down low for a ball. I don't have it in writing, but I was watching the Ed Sullivan show that night they first appeared.
Oh, nice.
Take my word for it. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a little bit before my time, Sweet Lou.
No balls, 1 strike. Well, I'm 61. I don't know how old. I got to be the oldest one in this. No, that guy down there, he looks a little older than me. I'm not quite sure, but
I don't know who that hit. Did it hit Peyton Williams or did it, Wagner? I know it hit him in the toe because he's dancing around. The problem is he started dancing around and he didn't care about the baseball.
Yeah.
Eberhardt had to run in and grab the ball so the runner at third base would advance, and that is.
Wagner is hurting there. Yeah,
he is. Is that Darren Lathrop? I don't know if he'd be dancing that quickly if that was the other, the man region there.
Yeah.
That would not feel so hot. I think he'd go down for a while, then he'd be doing his dance. I guess if he said, "Hi, Coach." Then
Coach McTaggart stumbling out to see how he is.
I don't know. You're right. The little dance. Oh, yeah. The dance he's doing. He's trying to rearrange some things.
Oh,
there.
my gosh.
You know? Yeah. Folks, we're trying to keep this PG-13, but I don't know if we can.
Yeah,
tell you what, Dylan,
Mr. Wagner put on quite a show there, a little dance.
Yeah, he's trying to replace David Ross on the Dancing with the Stars there with his dance moves. I tell you. 2
balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Runners on second, third for the Mavericks. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed.
And Wags, I apologize. If you get hit there, you can forget about the baseball, man. That baseball's not important. You get hit there.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Pitch out just outside. Runs the count full now, 3-2.
It's a good spot there by Eberhardt. Good take by Peyton Williams and good call by the home plate umpire, Mark Maxwell.
Counts 3-2. Swung on and missed. Williams goes down swinging for out number 2.
That's the situation right there where you're an RBI guy. Those are the at-bats that make you so mad. I mean, you have runners at second and third with less than 2 outs. Infield's drawn in. I mean, the stage is set for you to do some major damage. And, really the only thing you can't do, I mean, if you hit a ball, really if you hit it hard on the ground, most likely it's going to be able to find a hole. But when you swing through it, that doesn't help you out.
It brings up Colin Owl, third baseman. He takes a pitch high and away, ball 1 from Eberhardt. Pitch down low for a ball, evens the count 1-1. base hit here would really bust this game open. Mavericks already leading by a score of 4-0. That pitch almost over the head of Wagner.
Did he? Oh, I was going to say, I don't know if he knew he caught it. I go ahead and just, well, I'm going to say go ahead and put them on, but no, you're going to try to make quality pitches.
3-0 count, and that's ball 4. That's going to load the bases. Lathrop at third. Talcott at second. All now on at first base. Brings up Evan Allen. There's ball 1. I think Mr. Eberhardt's running out of gas, Chris.
Good pitch.
Comes back there. It's the inside corner for a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Ooh.
Pitch inside for a ball. That was a breaking ball, but Wagner made a nice play.
He did. Good pitch there by Eberhardt, but really good discipline there by Evan Allen, not going fishing after that pitch.
2-1. Foul ball off to the right, and that's out of play. Deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Just heard the guys talking in the press box. Sounds like the Red Sox fans showed a really classy act here tonight after, sounds like when Adam Jones went up to a bat tonight, they got a standing ovation. He had a rough night there last night with people throwing things at him, maybe some racial slurs thrown his way as well.
Yeah, I read about that. Read about that this morning. That was not good. Full count. There goes the runners. There's a swing and a miss, and down goes Allen to end the inning. So no runs. There was a hit and 3 runners left. We head into the bottom of the 6th inning, with McCutcheon leading by a score of 4-0 here in game number 2 of the doubleheader. Broncos will be sending up 5, 6, and 7 hitters here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Again, Carson Smith on the hill for the Mavericks. Runs on 5 hits and 1 error for McCutcheon Mavericks. No runs on 2 hits and 4 errors for your Jefferson Broncos. Carson Smith just giving up 2 hits through 5 innings. Leading off for the Broncos here in the bottom of the 6th inning, right fielder Cole Bridge.
I hate to say this, but is Evan Allen in left field right now? I think he is. You would think that Evan would be a little deeper just in case.
Now Bridge was in the batter's box, and now he steps out. Here's a wind-up in the first pitch.
Good pitch.
And that is a beauty.
That is that breaking ball, man. He's dropping it right in there.
Here's the 0-1. Again, the same pitch and the same result. Called strike 2 Bridge is now in a hole, 0-2. Probably a waste pitch.
Yes, it was.
High and away, 1 ball, 2 strikes now.
A lot of left field line, a lot of right field line. See if Colbridge can fight here. Good pitch.
Swing, and that's a foul tip into the glove of Williams. 1 up, 1 down for Jeff here in the bottom of the 6th.
Carson is really sharp.
And that'll bring up Riley Eberhardt. Pitcher versus pitcher. Excuse me. Foul ball. Riley goes after that curveball. Fouls it off to the right, now to play.
Man, I didn't see Tom Kriebel here today, Sweet Lou. I wanted to bust out some of my program, some of the video game numbers he put up when he was a Lafayette Jeff Bronco.
Again, a foul ball by Eberhardt. He hit one, gets one in on the hands, 0-2. Well, when's your next MTC Sports broadcast on the internet?
Actually, it's this weekend. I think Purdue Northwestern series.
Northwestern comes to town?
I think so.
The curveball off the end of the bat of Eberhardt. I was trying to check my schedule, see where the Hoosiers are home, but I don't know who they're playing.
They are, I think they have Penn State.
Possibility. Maybe. 0-2 pitch again. Again, just fouled, and that may have got a piece of Mr. Williams, a catcher for McCutcheon.
Actually, Sweet Lou, maybe Ohio State. I know they have, I think Ohio State and Penn State are their 2 remaining Big Ten series.
Again, 0-2 to Eberhardt. Pop-up in the infield. Henning at second base. He's got it. Except that's not Henning, who is 21. Farrell at second base makes the play. We're out number 1.
Is this the top of the 6th inning, correct?
This is the bottom of the 6th.
Oh, I keep forgetting that we're the home. I'm all messed up. Nick McCalmont.
Is this McCalmont batting?
Yes.
One ball and 2 strikes. Ground ball fouled on the left field line.
Yeah, I wonder if that means that Christian Sanders is going to come in the top half of the 7th to catch, or he may be re-entering. Actually, it looks like he's going to re-enter. I think he's still probably a little shaken up from his situation.
Yep. Chopper right in front of the plate.
Sniper.
And down goes McCalmont as he falls about 15 to 20 feet down the first base line. He may have tripped over the white line there. And he fell, and he's definitely going to need a bath after this is over. He's got a lot of the dirt on his uniform.
I don't know if I've ever seen that, because who tagged him out there?
Well, the catcher did.
So I'm certain I've never seen that. So you hit a ground ball and you fall out of the batter's box. You fall so early that the catcher is able to pick the ball up and tag you out for a 2 unassisted. I've never seen that.
Yeah. So we played in 6 complete innings here from McCutcheon, and the McCutcheon Mavericks lead the Broncos 4-0 here in game number 2. We'll take a short audio break. You're watching Bronco Baseball. Sweet Lou Jeff Lusader back here
Yeah, so
at McCutcheon High School as we head into the top of the 7th inning. Yeah, McCutcheon is the visiting team here in game number 2. They lead Lafayette Jeff by a score of 4-0. Broncos sending up Eberhardt facing Kobe McNeely. 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Mavericks. Pitch down low for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Wonder how many pitches Eberhardt's thrown so far. You don't have that.
No.
95.
Wow. Amazing. Foul ball back to the screen. Count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Curveball inside, evens the count 2-2. McNeely. We've got McNeely, Miller, and Farrell here in the top of the 7th for the Mavericks. 7, 8, 9 hitters. Pitch outside, runs the count full, 3-2. Pitch inside, ball 4. So McNeely heads down to first base. And that'll bring up Ben Miller.
Crazy.
And we got a pinch runner, number 18.
Is that right? Looks like Riley Burgess again.
Riley Burgess now running at first base.
And that's going to be of the pinch running variety.
Yeah.
And he'll probably re-enter, but he's not the pitcher or the catcher, so you can't courtesy run for him.
And we've got some action down in the Bronco bullpen. There's a bunt attempt, and it's going to be a good one.
That's a really good bunt. Whoa.
And that's probably going to be an infield single. I don't think they were going to be able to catch Ben Miller at first base as he placed that bunt perfectly down the first base line. You do give him a hit, guys? Okay, thank you.
That's that play there where, I know it's going to be a tough play, but Riley didn't seem too confident fielding that ball. He jumps off the mound, and he turns, and he kind of guides the throw instead of just instead of unleashing it, and he throws it and pulls Nick Ewell way off the base. So that's the old PFP, a pitcher's fielding practice. Got to work on it.
Well, we've got a pitching change here for the Broncos. It's going to be Nico Martin coming in for Eberhardt. We'll sort things out here and be back. We'll take a short break. You're watching Bronco baseball. Sweet Lou Jeff Luzatter back here as we got a new pitcher for the Broncos, Nico Martin, the left-hander. Runners on first and second. Olin Farrell. Bunt attempt, and it's a good one. Martin's going to go to first base.
Good play.
And nice play by Nico Martin, but the sacrifice works as Burgess moves up to third, and Miller on at second base in scoring position.
You know, that's a good play all around. Very nicely executed sacrifice bunt there by Rowan Farrell. Really nice play there by Nico Martin, ranging over to the third base side of the mound and spinning around and making a strong throw to first base for the out. Good job all around.
So one out now for the Mavericks. Brings up Darren Lathrop. He takes ball one.
I don't know what it is with Nico with the fastball. I think it's like he falls off the mound to the third base side, and he kind of leaves his arm. It's kind of extended from his body, and you see him miss up and away quite a bit. Yeah, really.
There's ball two.
Off.
Two balls, no strikes. Towering pop-up on the infield. Justin Walker at shortstop has it for out number two.
Tell you what, it's again, I talked about it a little bit earlier. You know, situation where if you're the Mavericks, I mean, yes, you have a 4-0 lead, but man, you'd like to tack on more runs. There's been opportunities with runners in scoring position with less than 2 outs, and guys just have not been able to come through. I mean, you don't, regardless of if you win this game or not, that's something that you don't want to carry over in games in the future.
And there's ball one to Eli Talcott, batting left-handed. Runners on second, third for the Mavericks. We're in the top of the seventh inning. Well, there's a called strike.
Eli
one strike.
Eli was ducking and covering on that pitch, and the umpire called that a strike.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Again, he gets hit by a pitch.
Hey, Eli is a valedictorian type student. He got smart there. He said, hey, this time I'm not going to duck and cover. I'm going to stay right in there. And that ball hits him, I think he got him maybe in the knee. But if you see Eli, if he had some shorts on, I don't think that ball's going to phase him in his lower body. He's pretty strong. He's pretty well put together. He's been around. He's messed around a squat rack a time or two.
2 outs.
Lou.
Yep.
You went to high school with Eli's grandpa?
Yep.
Holy cow.
So I'm telling you, I'm old.
But I go back to, again, you know, you go back a couple years. Well, it's probably way more than a couple now. And go back to Eli's big brother, Walt.
Again, another hit batter.
We've seen this before by
Nico Martin.
Yeah.
Hits Jackson Smeltz. That forces in a run. It's now 5-0.
Yeah, we've seen this before. And what I was saying is, I mean, I go back to the junior season that Walt Talcott had for McCutcheon on the mound. It's pretty special. I mean, he was he was pretty darn dominant. It wasn't fair.
Pitch up high, ball one from Martin. He having trouble finding the strike zone here in the top of the 7th inning. Mavericks now leading 5-0 here in the top of the 7th. Foul ball off to the right now to play.
And just to finish that, thought on Walt, and then Walt went down to Earlham last year, had a really, really impressive freshman season for him. I know he's having some arm trouble right now, but man, he was completely lights out for Earlham last year.
There's a curveball that bends in there for called strike 2.
I'll tell you what, this will be one of those innings where I'm telling the hitters before they step in, guys, have some situational awareness. It's getting late. It's getting chill. It's chilly. If you can reach it, it's a strike.
There you go. The ball's inside. Counts 2-2. Well, not to bring up they're probably not listening, but that game last year when we had Arsenal Tech down 27-0 in the third inning, and Coach McTaggart went to the home plate umpire and says, "I don't care what you do, guys, but the umpire's going to be calling a strike no matter where the location was, just to get that game over with." And
I was not at that game. I had a work trip, but I remember the kids were talking.
I
think there was a pitch thrown behind one of the hitters, and it was called a strike.
Yep, it was.
No, I mean,
it was
pretty
wild.
But I'm not exaggerating.
There's a line drive into center field. That's going to be a base hit. That's going to score a couple. There's a nice piece of hitting there by Peyton Williams, a 2 RBI single into center field. And number 37 again.
So, a couple runs scored on that. So
who
scored?
Talcott came in, yeah.
So Eli scored on that, and who else scored?
Miller.
Yep.
We got Billups again, courtesy runner at first base. Smeltz heads over to third base. There's a pop-up.
That is way up there.
Way up there. Bowman, the second baseman, has it. And he was doing a little dance there, staggering around, but he did make the play. But the Mavericks come up with 3 runs here in the top of the 7th inning. We headed to the bottom of the 7th. It's the Mavericks 7, Broncos 0. Take a short audio break. You're watching Bronco Baseball here on the web. Sweet Lou, Jeff Luzader back here. McCutcheon, as we head into the bottom of the 7th inning, Broncos got a big hill to climb here, trailing 7-0. Carson Smith throws a fastball for a called strike to Nick Ewell.
Carson's been on cruise control all game, Sweet Lou.
Smith throwing a 2-hitter right now against the Broncos. 8-9-1, Ewell, Williams, and Jones for Lafayette Jeff here in the bottom of the 7th. It's Carson Smith pitching a gem. Pitch inside for a ball. Well, we just passed the 10 o'clock hour here in west central Indiana. Both these first games started at 5 o'clock. There's a swing and a miss, strike 2.
Carson's still throwing pretty good velocity, and that one, like I said, had a little arm side run to it, running right away from the barrel of Nick Ewell's bat. Good outing here by Carson.
1 ball, 2 strikes. There's called strike 3.
Yep.
Strikeout number 4 for Smith. He's walked 3.
You know, Sweet Lou, this is one of those games. If this game kind of holds off and ends the way it looks like it's going to, I mean, talking about just a crazy turn of events. I mean, this if you're McCutcheon, man, you got to feel pretty upset. I mean, you had 2 games here on this doubleheader.
Well, the only thing I can say about game 1 is that's why you play him. It's never over till it's over, said Yogi.
Right.
And
you're right.
Till the last out. Swing and a miss.
You are absolutely correct.
It only takes 1. Pitch outside. Of course, we've talked about, you can't really blame the left fielder. I mean, those balls were like rockets going over his head. But, that's why this game is so attractive to some of us is certain things happen, and it just creates other things to happen, you know. And
no, you're right.
One ball and 2 strikes now to J.T. Williams, a left fielder for Jeff. At least that's why I'm attracted to this game. I love basketball, but boy, baseball. Of course, I was a better baseball player than I was basketball, but I guess that's why I'm attracted to this game so much. There's a foul ball.
Well, Sweet Lou, I thought you were like a 6'5" shooting guard. I mean, what happened?
Yeah, 5'7". One ball, 2 strikes.
Good pitch.
Strikeout. And the Broncos down to their final out.
That pitch was perfectly executed there by Carson Smith. Fastball on the outside part of the plate. J.T. Williams just could not catch up to it for the second out.
Clay Jones, leadoff batter for Jeff. He swings and misses from Smith, and Smith looked like he could just started the ball game with that pitch.
I'm telling you, man,
he could go another 7.
I'm telling you, he looks really good.
Well, again, I talked about the 2 starters. They're both around the plate. They don't throw wild pitches. They don't overthrow. There's strike 2 to Jones, and the Broncos down to their final strike. I'm just impressed with both these starting pitchers for the Mavericks.
When you pound the zone, good things happen.
Yeah.
Right?
No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's a pop-up. That's probably going to end the game. Miller, second baseman, Farrell takes it, and that ends the game. Final score, McCutcheon Mavericks 7 and the Lafayette Jefferson Broncos 0. 7 runs on 7 hits and 1 error for the Mavericks of McCutcheon. No runs on 2 hits for the Broncos on 4 errors. Some of those errors came back to haunt. Winning pitcher is Smith, and he pitched a 2-hit shutout. Losing pitcher was Clay Bowman. So Clay Bowman maybe tied a Major League record because he won a game and lost a game, Chris. Your final thoughts on the doubleheader?
Well, I think if you're a Lafayette Jeff fan, you got to be happy you're able to get one out of this because you really probably should have lost 2 games today. But then again, if you're a McCutcheon Mavericks fan, you got to be upset that you're only 1-1 coming out of this doubleheader because, again, you let one slip away in the first game. But either way, it's you win one, you lose one, you come back and play the next day.
Well, again, the final score: Lafayette Jeff splits a doubleheader with McCutcheon Mavericks. They win game number 1 5-4 and lose game number 2 7-0. For Sweet Lou, Jeff Luzader, and Chris Walker, my sidekick. Thanks for watching, everybody. Our next broadcast will be Thursday, weather permitting, from Carmel. Again, watch the website to make sure the broadcast will see if we can get that game in. I want to thank Ryan Walden. I want to thank Bob Smelts here for the hospitality here in McCutcheon. We had the windows open, but Mr. Talcott for all his hospitality, and they could have thrown us out here after that game one, but they didn't. So thanks a lot, guys. So long, everyone. Thanks for watching, and don't forget the archives.